Wow. I am rather speechless on this one. I wish I could stand up here and say a bunch of things to make it better. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm proud of this football team and the way that they competed. You look at the stat sheet, and to go out there and rush for really 369 yards, I think is what it says, 360, 388, against a team that the most they've given up so far this year is 150. The coaching book says you're not supposed to run for 370 yards and lose. But when you play pass defense the way we play pass defense, it can make for a long day. I have a hole in my heart for so many players that went out and competed as hard as they did, and we weren't able to get it done. Like I said, I think there were some good things that we could point out too. I felt good at half with the way we were running the ball. Came out in the third quarter. They took the ball and went the length of the field, scored a touchdown. Then we got to about midfield, had to punt it. They blocked the punt. And then we got it on the first play, trying to get the run game going again to get our defense to get them a blow. We fumbled the first ball. And that gives them a third series, right there at the half. And it was 21 points that quick. It was 23-21. But I thought offensively we competed back, we fought back, went down, scored 10 unanswered points, I think it was at that point when it was 24-23. They came back. I thought BJ competed his tail off. I thought the offensive line was coming off the ball. We ended up playing a couple freshmen up there on the offensive line. There was a lot of encouraging things on the offensive side, but the disappointing part was to have the lead, to go down and kick the field goal to make it where they needed a touchdown to beat us, and we couldn't get the stop. On the last drive, we tried to play a couple different coverages. We tried to play 2 deep, we tried to play 3 deep, we tried to play man, and at the end, right there at the end, we tried to go 2 deep to help our corners a little bit, and they hit the shot down the middle of the field. I can't tell you exactly who was walling it right there at the very end, but we gave up the middle of the field, and they were able to get the ball to 1, sprint out, and throw it in the end zone. It's just heartbreaking, not just for our players, but for all the people that continue to support this program, for the people that were here tonight, which I thought was a very good crowd. It's just very disappointing we couldn't get it done in the final minutes of the game. This was an expensive game from an injury front. I know Lindsey Lamar right now is at Tampa General Hospital with a chest injury. I don't know the significance or the magnitude of that one right now. I'm definitely concerned for him. Evan Landy went out early with an ankle. Derek Hopkins went out with a knee. Ryan Giddens went out with a shoulder, and Dana Sestanor went out with an ankle. So it was costly from an injury standpoint, but right now, as disappointed and hurt as everybody is right now with the loss, my thoughts and my prayers are definitely with Lindsey Lamar that he is okay. What questions can I answer for anybody?
How was Lindsey when he left the field?
Hurting.
Breathing okay?
What's that?
Breathing okay?
Well, that is, from my understanding, why he's at Tampa General. When he came off the field, it was in the middle of the offensive drive on a hit that he took. It was a chest injury.
Skip, with the way the defense has allowed these drives late in games, what would it have taken for you to go for it on that 4th down at the end there when you lined up for a field goal?
A lot when it's a 2-point game. A lot when it's a 2-point game. Thought about throwing it on 3rd down, but then you say, you know what, I burned 40 seconds off the clock and try and help our defense rather than, rather than saying it's 3rd down, okay, let's throw it. It's like if it's incomplete, then you give them more time on the clock. That's why I ran it. We had a bus, turned the guy free in our backfield. Demetrius Murray did what he could to try and run for some yards. Bonatti went in there and he was awesome tonight. Micah Bonatti was absolutely awesome tonight. Had great height on his kicks, and split the uprights. I thought he played really well. But with a 2-point lead, I'd have a hard time going in that locker room going forward on 4th down if they would have went down the field and kicked a field goal to beat us when we had a weapon like Micah Bonatti. Now if he was at 1 for 4 on the night, I very well might have. But I felt like the important thing was to make it to protect our defense, run the ball, kick the field goal, take 40 seconds off the clock with them having no timeouts remaining, make them go the length of the field, put the ball in the end zone.
When you look at the overall defense, all the problems, you changed personnel, you've done, I mean, where do you go from here with this, with what you're trying to do and how you move forward?
We can't stay status quo. We can't stay status quo. We can't. It's not acceptable to sit there and watch a team go for 500 some odd yards against us, score 37 points, especially in the waning moments of a game like that. It's just, we can't. I have to look at the film. Like I said, with a number of issues. When I say pass defense, I don't think you can just point a finger at the secondary. I think you've got to look at your rush, you've got to look at your coverage, and you also have to look at your underneath coverage. Right now, we are not very good on defense. Our pass defense is not where it needs to be. And as the head coach, I've got an obligation to the people who support this program, to the players, to try and find an answer as we have 4 games remaining on the schedule.
Coach, with all these last-minute losses, how is the morale kept up in the locker room?
Everybody's hurting right now. I'll tell you what, for all the last-second losses and where we are right now, I think these players continue to go out and compete and believe, and I think morale from a team standpoint, we're staying together. I think that's a real testament to the seniors on this team, the attitude that they have, the resolve, the work habits, the pride that they have in this program, and they go out there, like I said, it'd be real easy to throw up a white flag and throw their arms in the air and say, you know what, it's too hard. As I've said through these tough times, I don't know what the message is, but we have got to find a way to get it with 4 games remaining. And it is heartbreaking to watch us compete, take the lead, get a couple stops, go up. It'd be a whole lot easier to go out there and get beat 44-10. It would be a lot easier as players, as coaches, and as a fan base. Everybody could leave at halftime and go back in the parking lot tailgate, if we were getting beat 44-10. But that's the frustrating part, is they're not quitting, they're not giving up. They're not waving the white flag, they're not going out there and laying down. They continue to compete, to come back from a deficit, to go out there and have 552 yards of offense, which I think has been our high of the year. I don't know what we did rushing-wise today, but I thought it was pretty daggone impressive, not just in the first half, but in the second half as well, to be able to control the ball against a team that was second in our league against the rush, giving up 100 yards a game. So I certainly can't say that, let me just say I'm proud of the way they continue to compete. I'm not proud because we do everything right. I'm not proud because we're getting the stops late in the game to win the football games. But I am proud of the way the seniors have stayed together, have continued to believe, and continue to compete.
Skip, when you talk about not being happy with the status quo, would you consider making changes to your defensive staff at all in season?
I have a lot of things I got to look at right now. I have a lot of things I got to look at.
All right, guys, we got players in the back.